I am also the Minnesota ambassador for the Women in AI Global organization. So it's been a really fun time bringing technical building expertise to speaking proposals and connecting networks across Minnesota. It's been great.
Hi, I'm Dhatri Chennavajula, CEO of CDS Vision. Our company, we basically provide AI services and solutions, basically for small businesses, especially manufacturing, construction, where we want to help them out to improve their process, workflows, and optimize efficiency and everything, including quality and productivity.
Yeah, do you want to tell your background a little bit?
Sure, I'm myself a software engineer with a background of vision. So I myself, I love vision. We know that when we start talking more and more, people have two different variations before when I was vision engineer, NLPs and vision. But my area of expertise is vision, and that's the reason I'm here to talk more about vision and how it's influencing the right now the business and how it's going to improve it, and it's going to be, I would say it's going to get more and more better.
Yeah, AK, she's brilliant. I'll just say that, right? I mean, seriously, owning her own company with Vision is awesome. And I am a total data nerd. I have my master's in data science and love everything on the back end and infrastructure, and really a builder at heart too. So when we were building this presentation together, we knew we wanted to bring something that the first part of the talk brings you up to speed, just to make sure if anyone isn't as familiar with the types of data, and then it goes into two real examples that we are using where we're marrying unstructured and structured data together. So just to give, again, a little overview, there you go. So we're really bridging two worlds of data. We have structured data, which is really something that is very organized. It's a lot of detailed information in row levels, and it's like you are traveling with a map. So it's very clear to utilize and has a lot of great structure to it. And unstructured data are items that don't have very good structure to them, so things like PDFs, photos, video, all of those components. And when you mirror them together, you utilize human interaction to bring this data to life. I love how data always has its own story, and so when you really are bringing these two different avenues together, that story comes to life and the human gets to bring that element here. So the picture of unstructured data is like when you're looking around or you're out there exploring. That's the concept or the feeling behind unstructured data. And then the picture with the human interaction is bringing the structure, like the house, together with exploring your area. So one way to think about that. Here are some examples of structured data just to make sure, so when you're thinking about your own businesses, and if anyone is doing a startup and how they want to bring structured data to their enterprise. You have your databases, data warehouse, data lake houses. There's all kinds of structure. You have typically an ERP, something that all of your centralized information is housed. And then financials is another one where it's very structured. It's easy to assemble, it's easy to review with AI because everything is in a nice format. Now the quality might be different, but it's there. So, anyone have an idea of what percentage of enterprise data is unstructured? Can you shout it out?
70.
70, okay. Any others?
90.
90?
99.9.
Okay, well I'm going to take the average between 70 and 90, and it is 80%, which is crazy to think about, that 80% of your enterprise's data is that unstructured, and most of our efforts are focused on the structured data. So there's so much untapped potential in this area. So what are we talking about with unstructured data examples? I thought this might be a little bit more interactive on this too, but afterwards, during the networking, if you want to share some unstructured ways that you guys are using data or have unstructured data, that would be great. So for us, we talked about a CRM has a lot of structured and unstructured data available in it. Also, any type of social media aspects that you and your company are using, as well as any type of enterprise workspace. So I know this is kind of small, but I was trying to capture, thinking of Microsoft Office 365, all of your emails, all of the notes, all of that. That is all unstructured data, and a lot of the time we're not utilizing it. So, how are you as a business supposed to get the value of that data and find that story if 80% of it is not being utilized? So we wanted to start with 3 steps. If you aren't utilizing unstructured data right now, here are 3 things you can start so that you can actually implement it into your business. The first step would be to catalog your data. So you want to start with your basics. Here are some examples for you too, that just very, very simple. You want the source name, what type, add a category of sensitivity, and do some labeling. time stamped in marketing. So I love this picture because this is like a spice, pantry, and then everything's all over the place, and you're like, where do I start? There's things outdated. You're trying to figure out, okay, what's actually in my pantry. So it really gives you a great base to start building on, because these foundational steps here that you're doing are what's going to allow you to leverage your data in that unstructured way going forward. The second one is to govern your data, especially with unstructured data. When you think about the ethics of using video and photographs, especially when you're using live video streams of different security cameras, how are you using photos of others who don't maybe have consent of what they're doing? So you need to figure out how you're going to govern that and make quality standards. Not every PDF is the same quality, not every picture is the same quality, so having some of these guardrails in place allow you to really leverage the great availability of data. And so taking your pantry now, we've added labels, so everything, that's why this picture is here, right? We're starting to add some structure. I'm going to add some expiration dates so I'm not using old spices. And then the third step that we would recommend is architecting your data. And unstructured data is different than architecting structured data. You need to be thinking about storage in a different way and how you can do an ETL project on the process on unstructured data differently. It's not something that you're going to move as a table-wise. You have to figure out how to manipulate and move that in either a vector format, or you're going to move it as is. So you have to think about that. And the more siloed that your actual pieces are in this unstructured space, the harder it's going to be to leverage AI or to mirror it with structured data. So I send a picture of a kitchen, because how you design your kitchen, if you make it so that your pantry is like this small, but you need all of this space, you need to architect the kitchen in a way that you can actually utilize the pantry you have. So those is just another way to think about that going forward. And then next, we are going to dive into, as we talked about, 2 examples of how we're mirroring structured data and unstructured data. So.
Thanks, Jena. And as I said, my expertise is in manufacturing. So manufacturing has a lot of data, and anybody is in from manufacturing or material science or everything manufacturing. So you might be knowing there should be like a lot of tons and tons of data, which are like blueprints, which can be on the floor, shop. We get so much of information. And how to marry these two to extract the vital information to run your businesses smoothly, because as like Jena said, that is 80% of data is unstructured. And those are vital information that we don't want to lose that information, extract it, put it in a structured format, and get your business impact solutions to it to run your business smoothly. So coming to the structured data. So structured data is, again, as Jena gave the examples of ERP, where they put their order details, inventory, pricing, which are easy to make an analysis and give a decision making based on that for each businesses, which is easy. And we have seen a lot, as the software engineers mostly here, they might have seen the SQL tables, Oracle tables, which are easy to enter the information. We have developed applications based on the databases. And ERPs are something which are similar to that. They are stored information where the administrative person can read it, analyze it, give the report back to the executives. But coming to the floor, how they are going to find this unstructured information get useful to their businesses. So they have like blueprints which will give their building instructions, how much they have to measure, the measuring information, how much they have to cut. They have the instructions which are written on the board. They come back every day, they read the instructions, they do the building process. And the quality, what they are doing, I noticed is one of the shop floors is that they measure each part manually, and even reading the notes. So all this information is there, but they are not storing it. And it's more visual, because unstructured data, what I say, it's more visualized. Human can easily understand it, can analyze it, and do the actions as accordingly. But this information is causing a lot of gap, which is the, sorry. So this is the big disconnect we are seeing, because this is not documented, it's unrecorded, and all the scraps they are seeing on the floor, where it is going. And they don't know. It's like, there might be like, administrative person might be like ordering by inventory, and there is so much scrap. The floor person comes back and asks for more inventory, but where is the reason why we are losing so much of scrap material, and how we can avoid this scrap. And this is not recorded anywhere. It's just like you go back, I'm not saying this happens every day, but we will see scrap in manufacturing. It happens pretty much all the time. And this is causing operational gaps. It's becoming more and more increasing operational cost and supply chain. Like, this is going to be like a lot of variance in their inventory. That's what I was talking about. It's one of the use cases I'm talking, but there are so many other scenarios that we can start like analyzing. So example for the blueprints, where the operator comes and he reads the instruction, but it goes into his mind, there can be some mistakes can happen. Who is going to correct it? And he comes back, and some other operator in another station who is doing the quality check, they do a measurement of their products, or they are visualizing for, they're looking for probably doing a visual inspection. Like they're having dents, scratches, and they're counting it because they need to figure out which are the good ones and bad ones. And they don't know how, they might record few and they might miss few. And which could be like quality issues, and they can have like unhappy customers. So how we are going to make this structured data, unstructured data into structure? So we have like tons and tons of like information from the notes, from the PDFs, from the images, from the videos. Just capture them because you are putting in the data lakes. It's already done. Like nobody is reinventing because every shop floor they have videos. They have this material already in place. All we need to do is like extract it using the AI tools. Structure them accordingly, either in the CSV format or JSON format, which can be used.
The advances have been really helpful as we continue to test this out. So this is the extraction process that we're doing. So I have the student in this left side here. This is this person. And then they move into Salesforce, so they upload that manually. Then it moves into our Tommy Lake. That's what we call it because everything at St. Thomas is Tommy. So, and we're using Lambda to write to S3 as well as our Glue catalog. So this is what we're prototyping right now. So we extract everything and store it, and then we use Amazon Text Extract to actually extract the text, put it into a structured way, and then move that back into Salesforce so that the team can have quality checks that way. So it's been really helpful, again, to alleviate the manual efforts that have been happening and mirror the two structured and unstructured to improve the business process overall. So two quick little bonus ones that we thought would be fun as well. In our R&D group, we are working on a food waste so that as the students are going through on their trays, we're taking pictures so that we can say this is how much food has been wasted in a day, because we really care about sustainability, right? And so you can use Vision AI in this part. And then we also want to make sure that we're ordering the right amount of data, or if there's something that didn't go over well, that we maybe don't make that again, right, in the future, because we can tell how much of it was wasted, which is something fun. And then a second bonus, the University of St. Thomas just opened a brand new arena, and we have someone who manually tracks the stats, right, at the arena and during the game. So how could we use AI to track this type of information and then showcase it to the audience so that they are immersed in it as we're doing it during that time. So something very fun on the side, and other examples of how you can use it. You want to talk about this? I was talking about this. Okay. So we wanted to start wrapping it up and talk about how no two data marriages are the same, right? Every player that's coming to the table has different types of data, different structure, different problem that you're trying to solve. So here's three pieces that you can evaluate as you're trying to decide what methods to use and going forward. And again, not everyone has the same technology stack, but as you're seeing, things are starting to become more readily available for you to take advantage of this in your own business. And then we wanted to end with giving our own prediction of what we think is next in the field of computer vision. I'm definitely not the expert in this, but as I'm looking at it from the educational space, I keep thinking about how the data, the images that are being made right now in a synthetic way will be the next new training fuel, right? I just saw that Nano Banana can take a homework problem, you can train it to know your handwriting and complete the homework problem in your own handwriting without actually doing the work, right? So these are things that education is now facing, right? That's so brilliant that the student figured it out, and I love that they are being so creative. But now we're gonna have to try and figure out what is real and what isn't, right? And so I think that the methods that we're using here will help us really evaluate that going forward.
And myself, I would see like closed loop solutions. So whenever there's a problem, right now all of the things like we are seeing for the quality is post-production, where we'll take production part and see whether there's a scratch dent or any other anomalies out there. But this should really not happen because that's adding more scrap and more material. And instead of that, in the future we'll be seeing more closed loop solutions as they are working on their production floor, even in additive manufacturing as they are printing their material. The action to be taken immediately when there is a discrepancy, and it should happen without any human intervention and based on the decisions taken by the system itself. That is what the future of computer vision is going to be. Thank you.
Any questions? Love it. Yes.
So when you talk about something like gateways of digital trust, I mean, what are some of the strategies you use, for example, to actually have a gateway in such a way that it can't be manipulated, it can't be changed, it can't be, and then to avoid someone removing the gateways? Like we try to write watermarks to images and stuff, but people just remove them, right? So. Yeah. So I think a lot about gateways. I mean, what strategies are we trying to accomplish?
So coming to, if you are a business and I am working on your business solutions, your data becomes your data, it doesn't go out. But if you are trying to go out with the public data, definitely there is always, it's hard to say, but any enterprise data or any data that is for the business, it stays on the server, nobody's going to touch it, and it's yours. Does it answer your question?
Well, I'll be honest, no, not
data
really.
is always a danger which you cannot rely on it because it's done by somebody and you don't know how much it is reliable to, because with the nano banana, especially what Jena gave the example, how do you make it different? There are some Google tools, I believe, which can say it is generated by AI or not, but you cannot sit and do for it whole day long, right? So for every enterprise or every business, their data lakes will be there on their servers and nobody is going to touch it.
So are you imagining a network appliance that would intercept user posts and classify them?
Can you repeat the question?
You're talking about a gateway. Are we imagining a network appliance here that's going to intercept user posts and then classify them as authentic and authentic?
You can do how we did for our emails, like spam and non-spam. Something similar you can return with the data too, we can figure it out. But right now I don't have the solution in mind, but the same technology comes here where you can say spam and non-spam. It's like anomaly, right? So we are trying to find anomaly detection on those kind of data.
Keep going, we can take more questions. Back.
Hey, so yeah, I see a lot of pictures, you taking the picture of the transcript and also the meal that a student has taken or something like that, right? How about can you guys do something like monitoring the student itself, looking at how productive they are or looking at their posture or something like that so that you can take out the data?
Yes. Yes, so we had talked about in our ethics committee around filming a classroom to see how throughout a semester to analyze body movements and see how a student succeeds in the classroom and is in the front of the classroom, the back of those types of things. But again, it comes down to, is it ethical, and we have to have opt-in from the students. So that's the piece that we are working through because we want to make sure that they are comfortable as we want them to have an encouraging space. So, I mean, we could be using door swipe data all over the place. We could really be invasive with the students because they are on our network 24 hours a day, right? So we could be there, but we are really being careful of the ethical line to make sure that we're respectful to these students. Yes.
So I was wondering if the transcript data, talking about kind of ethics and I guess bias, is when you talk about like AP classes, what about international students when they have classes that like don't transfer and don't, like, if you're coming from India or Kenya or Ghana or whatever country, like, that doesn't have a course that doesn't necessarily transfer super well, it's like, it's already not transferring super well, and then the AI is going to be even worse. How are you handling this?
So I don't know if the AI would necessarily be worse, but yes, there is a different process that we have typically for international students in the application process anyway, but it gives us insight into what courses we could be transferring in more because they're so frequent and we are not even taking the time to actually look at them. So I would look at it as I can use the data in this process to actually like improve it overall for international students and make a better case with data, hence the previous one, of being able to use that for the students. Like bring it to the table and saying, we've had over 100 of this specific class, why are we not transferring it in? Those types of things. So I think we're out of time, but we will be happy to answer questions anytime afterwards or after this too. So thank you very much.
Thank you.